Hello, friends and family, loved ones and strangers. It is now 5 o'clock. It is Saturday, July 18th, which means it is time for my live bake with Make-A-Wish Canada. I'm so excited. Thank you. Oh my gosh, people are already tuning in. This is amazing. Thanks for joining. I'm super pumped about today. Momentarily, I will be joined by some special guests from Make-A-Wish, and I'm really excited to be co-hosting this event with them. This is, I believe, the first installment of Wish Dish, which is, well, you're going to learn more about it momentarily, but I'll just let people peter in before we get started. But I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. I live in Toronto. I live close to the Distillery District. I'm looking out the window and it's gorgeous outside. It's a very hot day. Very hot, very humid. So I'm very excited to be hanging out inside. And joining me in a quick second will be someone very special. Hang on to your hats. There we go. Hello!
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. I'm just going to adjust my camera so I can see my face. So, friends, family, loved ones, strangers, everybody watching, my name is Colin. Hopefully you know me already because you likely follow me on Insta because you are here right now. But I'm joined with someone very special who I'm about to introduce. But before I do that, let's talk about what we're doing today. So today we are doing a live bake with Make-A-Wish Canada. And this program is called Wish Dish, which was created to support and drive awareness and fundraising to Make-A-Wish Canada, which is an amazing organization that does work for children across the country living with critical illnesses. And they grant these life-changing wishes to make these kids feel amazing, as they should. And who better to talk about these wishes than an actual Wish kid? And that's you, Olivia. So thank you so much for joining. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And I'd love it if you could introduce yourself and talk about your experience with Make-A-Wish Canada and being a Wish kid, and tell me everything. Let's get to know you.
I'm Olivia, and my wish was to be famous.
Love it.
And I got to go on the red carpet, and I get to do so many cool events and raise charity with them, and that's my favorite part about being a Wish kid.
I love that. That's amazing. And when was your wish granted?
I think it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Oh my gosh, amazing. And has your life changed? Have you achieved the status of fame, the level of fame that you were looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I knew about you before this, so to me, you are very famous. I've seen the videos. I've seen you go viral. I know what's up. So I know that you got to work with Blake McGrath.
Yeah.
Because you are a dancer as well, right? That's so cool. I do theater, and I have dabbled in dance, although I don't have any formal training. But I'm a big fan of yours and a big fan of Blake McGrath. And I mean, this might be difficult because you look super comfy on your couch right now, but are we going to learn the dance move that helped propel you to fame?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I'm here to learn. I don't have a ton of space, but I'm going to do it with you. Maybe I'll step back, actually. Can you still, oh yeah, you can totally see me. This is great. Okay.
So it's 8 counts, and the first 4 you go like that, and then the last 4 like that.
Love it. Okay. Is it shoulders, or is it like a shimmy here, or like a? Okay, cool. Okay, I love it. So 4 of this, and then 4 of this.
Yeah.
I love it. Are we doing it together now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna take your lead.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Love it. I'm a dancer now, right, Olivia? That was so great. I hope I didn't make a fool of myself. Was that okay?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. How would you rate me on a scale from 1 to 10?
Probably a 10.5.
A 10.5? That's great. I was expecting maybe a 5 with my lack of training, but thank you so much. This is so great to have you here. So we're gonna get baking, and I wanted to make something red carpet inspired because of you, our honorary honored guest of honor. I just said honor like 17,000 times. So we're gonna do something a little bit glam, which you will see momentarily. So I can't wait to see if you bake at home eventually, either today or later. But thank you for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. And you're famous, so good job. Keep it up. All right, so we're going to have another special guest from Make-A-Wish. And so thank you for joining, and we'll chat later, okay, my friend?
Bye.
Bye, famous Libby. Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there we go. So in a couple moments, we're going to be joined by another special guest from Make-A-Wish Canada, from their Rising Stars Committee. And you will meet this special person very, very soon. But yeah, in the meantime, let's kill some time. Where were we before? I was talking about the weather because that's a very engaging topic, wouldn't you say? So it's very hot, it's very humid. So it's kind of like an odd day to be baking. But c'est la vie. I would actually personally rather be inside than outside right now because I have air conditioning. Not to brag, but I do, and I'm happy about it. But our next special guest is just about to join us, so let me just let them in. I feel like I'm on a work Zoom call. I'm very familiar with video conferences now, because that's everybody's life right now in quarantine. Hello!
So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then shoulders.
Oh yeah, and then a little shoulder. I think I was going too fast, actually. I was just really excited to fan myself.
You looked good. You looked a lot better than I did there. But
I don't know about that. I think we're about equal. Who are you, my friend?
So, hi everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kevin. I'm Kevin Bahar. I am the co-chair of the not Make-A-Wish, but of the Rising Stars Committee. We are a group of young professionals that are just trying to help raise funds for Make-A-Wish and to help grant wishes for kids. So we're super happy to be here. It's our first virtual event. So Colin, thank you so much for being our first host. We're super, super excited to have you. And we're just super, super excited to bake. This is first of our series of 3. So we're gonna have 3 total. So you're number 1. Then our second guest is gonna be we're gonna have bartender 1, and then we're gonna have Mildred's Kitchen. 3 total.
Amazing.
We're gonna go kind of base by base, baking a little bit of, I put this in we're gonna have a drink, and then we're going to be making some like a main course meal. So we'll have these each kind of spread out in 2 weeks, and we'll have those.
I love it. Everybody loves food. Everybody loves drinks.
Yes, exactly, right? So a little bit of everything for everyone. And then we have you here today. So thankfully, you're going to walk us through baking. You're going to give a step-by-step baking tutorial in a sense. I'm glad you're here because I would not want to, I don't want to teach anybody. I'm not a good baker. That's the honest truth. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you walk us through the step-by-step process. We're gonna kind of not break it up, but we want to make sure that the Instagram live feed continues on. So at one point we're gonna let you quickly pop off and jump back on, just to ensure that the whole feed doesn't cut us off. We don't want to miss any steps, because if I miss one, I know mine's not going to be that good, and I want to make sure everybody else has an awesome time while they're baking. So we'll do that, and then throughout we'll kind of have little breaks. You'll prompt them for breaks and say, hey, like, we're gonna throw something in the oven, or just take a break, grab some water. So we'll do that. But we're super thrilled, super happy to have you. And then guys, Colin he's been very, what's the word I'm looking for? He hasn't told you everything about himself. If you don't know him, Colin is, he was Toronto's beloved finalist for season 3 of the Great Canadian Baking Show. So you were talking, Olivia's famous, you're famous. So the only one that's on this that isn't famous is me, but.
I think you're famous, Kevin. I heard about you before this call as well. I was briefed. You're famous to me.
Thank you. You're making me feel really good about myself. And as you're saying, you also done theater as well. So again, Colin has not been telling you everything about himself. He's performed alongside Jude Black and Divine Brown at, I don't know, I always pronounce this wrong, Corner Hall? Is that he's? Kerner Hall.
Kerner Hall.
I like that. Is one of those words
it's spelled weird. It's true.
So you've done a lot. You have been quite busy, and we have you here for our, again, first ever wish dish. That's like, we're super happy. We're excited to start, and I can't wait to hear how this is all going to come together and all the steps you're going to walk us through.
Well, you will find out momentarily. I have questions for you. Are you going to be baking with me live right now?
Yeah, so I was showing the team earlier, but I have all my stuff.
Ooh, look at you.
Here. So I'm
You
ready
are so prepared.
I went out yesterday, I got everything, so it's all fresh. The only thing I got my whipping cream and butter in the fridge. So I might pop off for a sec to just go grab that, but I'm ready.
Excellent. Okay, that is great. I'm so excited. Now, when you were in the grocery store, what was the situation there? What was the vibe like? Everybody in masks? Everybody keeping safe?
So, yeah, for the most part, right? Like,
okay.
Almost everybody's wearing masks, which is great. People are keeping their distance. It's nice. People are taking it seriously, and we want everybody to be safe. And so, luckily, they were. The only issue that I had was finding the baking powder. I couldn't find it, and it was just like little. It was like one box, like this big in a, Walmart has those big rows. Little box this big, and I was walking. I went past it like 10 times. I was like, I can't find it.
I have been there. I am obviously a regular at the baking aisle in all the grocery stores near me, so I know where to find everything. But I have absolutely been there where I'm looking for like one specific ingredient, and I'm just walking past it like 11,000 times, and then I ask for help, and they're like, "It was right there the whole time, sir." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you. I guess I should get my glasses checked." So I feel your pain.
That's what I thought yesterday. I was like, I didn't wear my glasses. That's what I'm going to blame it on. I couldn't see because I didn't wear my glasses.
Well, I hope you have your contacts in because we're about to get started.
I am ready. I'm super excited.
Feeling good?
Let's do this. I have my bowl.
Okay,
I'm
great.
ready.
Woo! Okay, so if anybody has been following me or has been following Make-A-Wish Rising Stars, we released the ingredients list and the recipe that we were making today. But in case you are brand new to this experience, and this is the first time that you've heard of this happening, we are making a mixed berry shortcake today. And I wanted to do something a little bit elevated, a little bit glam in honor of the red carpet and in honor of Olivia and the Livy. So we're gonna do some nice fancy plating. I just remembered now that I forgot to get the plates out, but I will get there.
I don't know if I have as fancy plates though. Like
the dish will be fancy. The plate doesn't have to be fancy. So let me show you my setup, and I'm gonna figure out the best angle. Oh, there we go. You can see stuff, right?
Yes.
That's visible? Okay. And I will adjust as necessary because, you know what? I'm gonna have to move this for a hot second because I need to open up my fridge to take out my butter and cream and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna do a little bit of setup.
Yeah, do your thing, do your thing.
Okay.
For everybody that is here, we really want to thank you for joining us. And Colin and I are both super excited to have you all here. And we're hoping that you will also enjoy your lovely, lovely, lovely baking experience with us, and also enjoy your food after. Like, I'm gonna eat it. I'll probably post it and have my friends try it, but that's what we're here for. We also want to let you know that we have not pinned, but if you go to the Rising Stars link, our Instagram page, you can go to our link and there's a donation page there. All the money that is raised is going to go to Make-A-Wish to help kids with critical illnesses, and it's going to it will help grant wishes. And so although we are on pause in terms of granting wishes because of COVID, all the money is still going to be going to them when things can return to normal. And guys, we have donations already coming in. As we go throughout our live feed, we will be calling people out. So first and foremost, thank you, Linda Cooper. We really, really appreciate it. So that is our first donation. And Colin, are you ready? Can you give me?
I think I'm ready.
Can I go grab my milk or my whipping
cream
and butter?
Absolutely. I'm going to continue adjusting my camera because. Oy. Okay, I think that's a good view. I will be like doing close-ups and whatnot, and I will come up to the camera in case you can't see everything for the whole duration of our experience today. So don't fret. Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's start baking. So,
Colin, before we start baking, is there anything?
Yes, my friend.
Should I start my oven?
Yes, you absolutely should. Okay. So before we do anything, I need everybody at home to preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. All right? I hear those beeps. Excellent work. Mine has been preheating for a little bit, so I think I'm good. Again, we're making a mixed berry shortcake. If you are Canadian, you could call this a bumbleberry shortcake, actually. Yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember bumbleberry? I ate a lot of bumbleberry pie as a kid. It was a big favorite of my family's. It's essentially just mixed berry. I don't know if it's just a Canadian thing or an Ontario thing, but it's close to my heart. And so now I'm calling this bumbleberry shortcake instead of just mixed berry.
I'll ask my friend in Vancouver after this. I'll be like, do you call this bumbleberry cake or is it just in Ontario?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to go through all the ingredients so that you have everything set up. And then while I'm puttering around with the setup, people can run around their homes and get stuff ready in their own kitchens. So I have notes. Look at me, so prepared.
You're ready to go.
Ready-ish to go. So for a mixed berry or a bumbleberry shortcake, of course, you need mixed berries. So I have strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. You can do any berries that you like. You can throw some raspberries in there, some, I don't know, Saskatoon berries if you're in Saskatoon.
I got my blueberries and my strawberries. That's what I got.
Beautiful. Excellent. You'll need a 1/4 cup of sugar, just regular granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of grated lemon zest, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So that's everything you'll need for the berries. So again, that's 2.5 cups of berries, 2 to 2.5 cups, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of lemon zest, and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So that's the berry stuff. All good? Everybody feeling good? Feeling berry-rific? All right. Then the cake component of a shortcake is actually, it's not a cake, it's actually a biscuit. So it's sort of like a dinner biscuit or like a scone, like a sweet biscuit. So for that, you will need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, another 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. It's another hard one to find in a grocery store sometimes. Hopefully you found it, y'all. Another 2 teaspoons of lemon zest, finely grated, 3/4 cup of cold butter, or 1.5 sticks, and you'll want to have that chopped up into little chunks. 1 egg, 1 large egg, and then 1 cup of milk or cream. I'm using whole milk, but again, whatever you have at home is totally fine. So that is everything that you need for the biscuits. All right, so we got flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, cream of tartar, lemon zest, butter, egg, and milk or cream. And I'll be repeating the quantities throughout, of course. And then the last thing you need for a shortcake is, of course, whipped cream. Or if you want to say things fancily, choux chantilly cream, which is just sweet. Can
you pronounce
cream.
It again so I can practice? Choux chantilly cream?
Choux chantilly cream. Very good. Awesome. Very good. First try and you nailed it.
I'm going to say that at the end and be like, as I am dressing my bumbleberry cake with choux chantilly cream.
See, we're keeping it chic. We're keeping it fancy. So for that, you'll need 1 cup of cold, heavy cream. And whipping cream is also called heavy cream. It's that 35% full-fat cream. I'm having a full-fat summer. I don't know about you.
Honestly, it's the best stuff, right? It has the
full fat all the way.
So I am all for it.
Excellent. And then 1 tablespoon of icing sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of skim milk powder. Not everybody will have that at home. I totally appreciate that. It will help stabilize the cream. It's not 100% necessary. It's just going to mean that your whipped cream is going to hold its shape for a little bit longer. But again, we will get to that a little bit later. And 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. I always say, make sure to use the pure stuff. Don't use the artificial. It's just not going to taste good.
All right.
And that's that. So we've got cold cream, icing sugar, skim milk powder, optional, and vanilla extract. And that's everything you need for our delightful recipe. So shall we get started?
Yes, let's just ask, is the crowd ready? Like, I'm looking at the comments and people seem pretty
let me
excited.
see.
Does everybody have their stuff? Is everybody ready?
Who's baking? I want to see. I don't know if oh, there we go.
Oh, Carolyn's ready. And also I wanted to tell you something, Colin. One of our our leads, our co-leads for Rising Stars. Her name's Steph. She usually bakes, and we were going through the ingredients earlier, and she was like, I have almost never used instant skim milk powder. And I was like, neither have I. I went and I was like,
now you're going to use it every day.
I'm ready.
Actually,
Let's go.
I use it on very rare occasions, specifically when I'm doing a stabilized whipped cream. It's my preferred method of stabilizing whipped cream. Some people use gelatin, but I find that just lends kind of a funky flavor. And it's not vegetarian because gelatin is made from bones. Did you know that? Yeah, it's a little bit gross. Do I use it anyway? Sometimes. All right. Let's start baking! All right, so what we are going to do first is macerate our berries. So we have our mixed berries. Again, I have blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries. And any berries that are like huge and chunky, I have chopped them into halves or quarters just to like be a nice bite. So do that, chop your berries and toss them all around in a bowl. And now we're going to add basically all of our ingredients for the macerated berries. So we have a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. We're just pouring that right on top. Bam! Sugar, done. And then we're gonna take 2 teaspoons of that finely grated lemon zest. I'm just gonna eyeball this. Feel free to measure it a little bit more intensely at home. And just throw that all in. And the lemon zest, it's not really meant to like overly flavor this dish. It just brightens up the acid in the berries. It brightens up the flavor. It really like wakes up your taste buds. And what are we doing next? And then we take a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice as well. And again, that's not to make it overly lemony. It's just to brighten up the flavor and add a little acidic element. So I've got a tablespoon. Oh, that wasn't quite a full tablespoon. There we go. Of lemon juice. So we have that all in a bowl. And now you're just gonna mix all that up. Just make sure that all the berries are nice and coated with that granulated sugar. It's gonna look a little like sludgy-wudgy, and that is exactly what you want. And that's a technical term, sludgy-wudgy.
Sludgy-wudgy.
Sludgy-wudgy was a
I think
bear.
mine's looking a little sludgy-wudgy right now.
Oh, good. Excellent. Sludgy-wudgy hour with Kevin and Colin. That's going to be our new name for Wish Dish, at least for this installment.
When people ask us back, we'll just call ourselves Sludgy Wudgy. You want Sludgy Wudgy?
Sludgy Wudgy. Here we are. Who's sludgy and who's wudgy?
You can choose because you came up with the term, so I'll let you pick what you want to be.
Okay, for now I'm going to say I'm sludgy just because it comes first, and who doesn't like coming first? But I might change that later.
Fine.
All right, so our berries are nice and tossed, and then that is all you have to do for the macerated berries. So it's sort of like marinating meat. You have all these ingredients, you let it sit, and then this will actually, the sugar and the lemon juice will draw out the natural juices from the berries, and then you'll have this nice, depending on the berries you chose at home, either a red or a purple juice oozing out of these berries after some time. So we're just going to set this aside, and then this will come into play once we are ready with our biscuits and with our whipped cream. So I'm just going to put this aside, out of sight, out of mind. Next,
so Colin, I'm just going to pause you really quick. We wanted to say a huge shout out just because it is awesome. We have Nancy Chow. She just donated $250. So I usually don't want to interrupt you, but it is huge for us. Super big thank you to Nancy. And Nancy, we hope you are following along. We want to see your cake later. Please show us, and so we can share it.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And again, everyone, if you need the donation link, I believe it's pinned, and go to the Make-A-Wish Rising Stars channel to get that link and get your donations in. If you can, we really appreciate it. All right, so now we're going to move on to our biscuits, which I'm very excited about. I love a flaky biscuit. I love a scone. Some people say scone if they're fancy. I just say scone because I'm
going to go with scone.
I'm a commoner. Yeah, I just feel like I'm not British. I know. Can you believe it? A lot of people think I am, but I'm not. So I just say scone. My
first thought was Colin. He's British.
So British. I mean, I think the name Colin is British-ish, or it's like, so. I think it's Irish.
Is it?
Like
I'll educate myself later. So
we'll do a little Google. I mean, because there's Colin Firth, who's British. There's Colin Farrell, who I believe is Irish, Scottish. I don't know. don't come at me in the comments.
If anybody knows, please comment for us and let us know where Colin came from, please.
Where did Colin come from? Good to know. All right, it's biscuit time. So we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I like to tell fun jokes about all-purpose flour. I say you can use it for all purposes. Like you can use it for like dry shampoo or face powder, or like you can blow it in the face of a villain before you run away. But today we're using 3 cups of all-purpose flour to make our sweet biscuits. 3 cups all-purpose flour, and we're going to throw in all of our dry ingredients into here. So we've got another 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Bam, right in there. Oh, this was not a super dry bowl apparently. My dishwasher has been acting up. Am I mad at it? Yes.
Dishwasher though, just having it is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
It really is. So at my old place, I used to live around St. Clair and Bathurst. I did not have a dishwasher. I did not have a laundry machine in my unit. I had to like go down to the basement to use the laundry machine. I had to wash all my dishes by hand. I know, first world problems. But I do have a dishwasher now. It's a small one. It has its issues. It has its temperamental days, but like, I think it's a relationship that's really gonna last. Let me tell you.
They're the best. They are, I'm with you. Like first world problems, like not having a dishwasher, you're like, oh my, and then you get one and you're like, this is heaven. This is what it's like.
I feel like I'm in the lap of luxury because I like throw in all my dirty dishes, throw in a dishwasher tab, let it go. And it's like I'm doing a chore while just sitting around.
And then
it's great.
My parents would be like, oh, we used to have to wash everything by hand, and we used to have to walk 2 miles in the snow, you know, all that stuff.
Welcome to 2020. Also, I mean, my parents, they never walked 2 miles in the snow because they lived in the Philippines, but different stories. Similar like vein of thought or train of thought, but different hardships. But let me tell you, having a dishwasher, game changer, be still my heart. So we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, got a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar in there, and then we're also going to throw in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. So I have all that stuff mixed up here, throwing that in. And make sure all that's in there. Great.
Now,
also,
as a baker, Colin, why do people put salt and sugar together? Like it's the sweet and salty, is that what it is? Like to me, the non-baker, I'm like, why? Like I like sweet and salty, like the peanut butter bars, but then I'm like, what does that do? Like, does it bring out more flavor? Does it just
that's a great question.
A lot more of your nerves or your taste buds?
It does. That's exactly it, actually. So you'll find in most sweet recipes, there's at least a pinch of salt, at least like a 1/4 teaspoon, or in this case, I think it's 1/2 teaspoon. And it really just rounds out the flavor. If you did have something that didn't have any salt and just had a ton of sugar, it would just be overwhelmingly sweet, and it just wouldn't be that edible long term. You'd have one bite and be like, ooh, delicious. And then after a few, you'd be like, oh God, I think I'm gonna die. So the salt really helps to counterbalance those flavors.
Gotcha.
And you'll also find that in a lot of salty dishes, you'll have a little bit of a sweet element as well, whether that's like a squeeze of honey, some granulated sugar, something to, again, round out that flavor profile. You don't wanna add too much salt though, because then these become savory biscuits, but 1/2 teaspoon is a-okay. We're also going to add in 2 more teaspoons of our finely grated lemon zest. So right in there. So just to recap, we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. So I said earlier that that's all our dry ingredients. Now, I was a bit of a lie because in recipes, sugar is actually technically a wet ingredient because as it gets baked, it liquefies. Sugar liquefies. You'll see that when people melt sugar, it becomes caramel. So it actually is a wet ingredient, but for the purposes of this experience, we'll just call it dry. Don't tell anybody. So take a whisk, and we're just gonna whisk all of those dry, for the purposes of this experience, ingredients together. Whisk, whisk, whisk. And something that I So I've been doing these online baking sessions for Glad Day Bookshop, which is an amazing LGBTQ plus bookstore in Toronto. And I've been doing these weekly online baking classes, somewhat like this, online. And I've said on one of those classes that people often under-whisk their dry ingredients, especially when there's a leavening agent like baking powder. It's so important to fully incorporate that into your full mixture, just to make sure that that things work out properly. And that's not even just for flavor, that's for the science of baking. A lot of people find baking a bit intimidating because it is very exact, it is a science. There is creativity involved, of course, there is artistry, and there are elements of improvisation, but it is a science, and so we don't want to mess with those scientific things.
Now, how do I know then, Colin, that I've whisked it enough? Like, what tells me I've done enough whisking?
So it's really tough when all your ingredients are white because you can't, there's no visual cues. So I like to whisk for at least a minute when it's something like this. If it is, like let's say you have some cocoa in your mixture or another color, you'll be able to see that it's all one color once it's all whisked evenly. So I'm just gonna whisk this for a few more seconds and then we'll be ready to go. You'll be able to smell.
Is it good when my arm starts hurting? Is that what? I thought this was baking. I didn't know we were working out today.
It's a little bit of a workout. Listen, I skipped my workout this morning because, well, I've been starting my day. Let me take you on a journey. We're in a pandemic and we're in lockdown, and so all the gyms are closed, and rightfully so, because I don't want everybody's droplets all over my bench for me to get COVID. So as a result, I've been working out at home. Is working out at home super fun? I'm gonna tell you right now, no, it's not. Is it effective? Sometimes. But you know what else is effective at doing other things? Eating all the food at home that you have in your fridge and then gaining weight. So that's what I did. And so a couple of weeks ago, I had to put on a suit jacket for this self-tape that I had to do. And I put it on and I was like, oh my God, I am not the same size that I was like a month ago. So this is a very long story. Thank you for staying with me for this. I have started going running every morning. So I run like through the distillery district and back and like around the park near my condo. And like, it is great. It has helped me trim back down a little bit. But again, like I mentioned before, when I was musing about the weather, it is so hot today. So I did not go for my run today. So that is why we are getting very active in the kitchen right now. So whisk, 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 work those forearms.
And honestly, it's quarantine has done that. Like you're stuck inside. You're like, oh, you can't go to the gym, and it's tough. But running, so I have like a love-hate relationship with running.
Okay.
I will run. And the whole time I suffer. Like whether it's like 5K or whatever, I suffer. The whole 5K, I'm dying.
5K? That's a lot of Ks, Kevin. 5K, my God. I do like 2K in the morning and I'm dying. It's also first thing in the morning, so that's why. But 5K, I'm very impressed.
I don't, after that, I'm done for the day. And I need to do it after work because if I do any workout before work, I'm exhausted. I'm like, I can't even work.
Yeah, I'm sort of the opposite. So like, because I hate cardio, full disclaimer. And so I get it done at the beginning of the day because then by the time I'm finished my workday, I forgot that it happened, which is
Very
great.
true.
And then I can do my regular workout and then I will have done the cardio and like my life is so much better. This is what pandemic has done to us.
Colin. Somebody said, I would run to a table of cakes. That's what Poncerone just commented. I like that. That's exactly where we're going to be running after we're done.
Well, let me tell you, I need to personally not run to a table of cakes. Otherwise, this tummy is going to continue to get bigger, which is fine, but that's not my goal for this pandemic. I would like to still fit in all the clothes in the closet. So we have our dry ingredients, and I believe that these are whisked nicely. How are yours looking, Kevin?
I think mine are good. I think.
Yeah?
Like, again, I'm not a master baker, but
you will be by the end of this. All right, so we are good. Now we are going to take our We are not. We are going to do butter next. It's a good thing I had notes. So we have our, how much butter? 3/4 of a cup of cold butter. So that's like pretty much straight out of the fridge. Again, that's 1.5 sticks if you're working with those pre-measured sticks of butter. And I've chopped those into slices that are approximately 1 centimeter thick. And I'm just going to throw all of those right into my dry ingredients. Make sure that your flour mixture doesn't fly everywhere when you do that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut the butter into the dry ingredients. Now, I have a specialty tool. I call it a specialty tool. It's like not that fancy. It's a pastry cutter. I'm going to bring it right up to the camera. This is it. You don't have to have this. But if you do,
I hope not, because
I saw the concern in your eyes. You don't have to have this. It's great if you do, but if you don't, it's a-okay. So what we're going to want to do is cut our butter into irregular sized chunks and then coat them with flour. And I'm going to use this, but you can actually just use your hands. You can use forks. You can use 2 butter knives. I just prefer to use this because I think I have a little bit more control with it and it makes me feel like a fancy baker. So our butter is all in the flour. Give it a little toss first, and then just start cutting away. If you're using your hands, you can just take the butter chunks and push them between your index finger and your thumb, and then it will create these sort of like shreds, these flakes of butter. The flakes of butter, as your biscuits bake, of course they melt, and then the liquid evaporates, and that's what creates those layers in biscuits. It's what creates those pockets of deliciousness in pastry dough. Anything that has cold butter in it, those flakes create flakiness. So let's do that now.
all right, time to get my hands dirty.
So you're doing it by hand then?
I'm gonna go
Excellent.
by hand.
Love it. And this is great because now we will both have 2 methods to show everyone baking at home that you can do it both ways.
Now, Colin, as we're going through this, let's. You said your parents are from the Philippines. Have you ever been?
Yes, I have been. I was there in, oh my God, what was the year? 2004. My mother and I took a trip to visit the Philippines. It was my first time there, and it was terrific. I met some of my family members that I had never met, and yeah, it was pretty amazing to see where my mom had grown up, and yeah, to just explore a completely different world. And the one thing that struck me as soon as I got off the plane, I was like, wow, it is so humid. I don't think I'm gonna survive this vacation. And I did.
Thankfully, we're all thankful. Everybody here, thankful that you did.
Okay, I'm thankful too. So is my mom, I think. She was like, you are a wuss. Like, this is where I grew up and I am fine. So you are gonna be fine too. But you know, travel right now, it's not looking good. I wanted to take a trip to Asia this year, but of course that has not happened, and who knows when it will.
I know.
But I'd love to eventually be back on a plane going somewhere cool.
I'm with you. So this year, this summer, was supposed to go to Europe. Was supposed to go to the Euros, and that got canceled. It was supposed to be me and 3 of my best friends. We were gonna go, just like a good trip, and it was sad. It was supposed to be we're in July now. It was supposed to be last month. You know when you look at your calendar and it says vacation, and it's not really vacation.
And you're like, oh, not happening anymore. Oh, that's the worst. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, everyone's travel plans up in the air. I have a very good friend who lives and works in Belgium, and he works for NATO actually, which is pretty amazing. And he took his first international flight in 4 months. I think it was just yesterday. I don't know where he went though. I should probably check on that. But he said it's been 4 whole months, and his role requires quite a lot of travel. So it was kind of bizarre for him to be grounded for so long.
It's crazy too how it's become just such a natural part of our life, traveling, going to all these places.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'm not a huge traveler. I don't travel every year internationally. I do try to. I'm trying now to explore North America more, specifically our own country. after having been on the baking show, one of the great things that came out of that was I made friends from all across Canada, from places that I had never been to before. So I went to Vancouver in November to hang out with a couple of my baker friends out there. And yeah, it was just nice to explore our own country because it's a big, cool place.
We have
with
everything.
a lot of, yeah, we do have everything. We do have everything. You know what I wish we had? No COVID. That's what I wish we had. But we're getting there.
Everybody.
Yeah, we are slowly getting there. And speaking of slowly getting there, my butter is pretty much perfectly cut in. How's yours looking?
I think it's I can't find like very many chunks or pieces. So
okay, so you're gonna want to see like some chunks, like some should be, I should have mentioned this before, some should be like the size of a lentil, some will be a little bit bigger, and that's totally fine. It's gonna want to be rough and crumbly and uneven, and just give it a toss with your hands, just to like take. Oh, I mean, you're already in there with your hands, but just to take a look to see the different sizes. I'm seeing some that are still a little bit big, so I'm just breaking them up with my hands. But overall, that's looking great. So again, the butter, irregular shapes, irregular chunks, somewhere between the size of a lentil and like a chickpea, I like to say. And then that is almost ready to mix, but we need to, of course, add some wet ingredients. So now you're going to want to take a cup of cold cream or milk. I'm using whole milk. Again, use whatever dairy product you like. You could even use a non-dairy milk if that's what you had on hand. You could use coconut milk. That could be pretty delicious. And again, that's 1 cup. And I'm going to crack 1 large egg into it. Sorry, I thought I saw something in my cream, but it's just a shadow.
Now, for those who are just joining Colin and I, just want to let you know we're making mixed berry shortcake. And Colin himself, and we're doing this to raise funds for the Rising Stars, which is raising funds for Make-A-Wish. So we're helping children with critical illnesses get their wishes granted.
It's such an amazing organization. It's such an amazing mission statement. And I'm really excited to be included today and to be co-hosting with you. So I hope everyone at home is enjoying watching. Please donate. Please learn more about the Rising Stars and about Make-A-Wish Canada. Amazing organizations and amazing people doing amazing work. Amazing, amazing, amazing. AAA.
Well, we're super thankful for you, Colin. Thank you for being with us.
I am honored. So we have our cup of cold cream or milk, and I just cracked 1 large egg into that, and I'm just whisking it all up until it's nice and evenly mixed. And you'll know that it is ready when it's all just a pale yellow color, and you don't see any strands or like globs of egg. Fun little baking tip: whenever you're cracking eggs, crack them on a flat surface, just straight on a flat surface, because that will ensure that you don't get any shards of the shell piercing the yolk or just like entering your egg. You'll see a lot of people cracking on the side of a bowl or the side of a pan. Don't do that. It looks cool. Don't do it. It's risky business. And I'm very risk averse. I'm a low risk kind of guy. So on a flat surface, flat, flat, flat. Okay, so my milk and egg mixture is looking great. And now I'm just gonna pour it all into my dry ingredients with the butter. And then we're gonna start folding that together with a wooden spoon or a spatula or just a regular like dinner spoon, that's fine as well. So again, pouring that in. And the reason why we used cold milk and cold cream is to just literally keep everything cold. When you keep your butter cold, it ensures that it remains in those chunks. And then when it bakes, it creates those pockets of air. You get a nice flaky biscuit, etc. It'll be just better. Things stay cold. So now I'm just taking a spatula. I'm going to fold everything together. We want to mix it so that it holds together, but we don't want to overmix it. When you overmix almost any batter for a baked good, you run the risk of it becoming tough, dense, and just overall unpleasant. And we don't want that. We want things to be fluffy, delicious, and light and airy. So I'm just folding it in on itself. So I'm like scooping around the bowl and then cutting into the middle to make sure that all of that dry stuff, all of that flour gets hydrated with the liquid that we added. And it should look quite shaggy. And as we're mixing, again, use that elbow grease. If it's looking a little too dry to hold together, which could very well be the case, you can splash on a little bit of extra milk. And I'm absolutely going to do that because this is looking quite dry.
I'm doing that as well.
So I'm going to add up to, I would say like up to 2 tablespoons of additional cold dairy. Again, whether that's milk or cream. Call that probably 2 tablespoons. And just keep mixing until it starts to hold together. Some shagginess is totally fine because that again means that it'll be nice and flaky and layery. And once it starts to come together a little bit more, we will start to turn it out onto our work surface. So looking ahead, we're going to need a little bit more of that cream or milk and some extra flour for dusting your work surface. So mine is looking, it's looking good, but oh, really gotta work those muscles. I'm almost glad I skipped my workout this morning.
I'm gonna say, good thing we didn't go for our runs today.
Yeah, exactly. How long have you been running? Have you been a runner like your whole life?
So, no, not a runner. I'm a soccer player, ex-soccer player.
Okay, cool.
Not that I'm retired, but now it's more, it's not as competitive.
Okay.
And so running has always been a part of, I guess, training.
Mhm.
And so I've kept doing it now because I want to stay in shape. I still go kick the ball, and I see some of my friends and they're like, oh, that's so tiring. And I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's soccer. I love it. I love the sport.
Yeah. Soccer is one of the only, so I'm not a sporty person. Like I genuinely love the gym, but I genuinely don't like playing sports. I'm just not good at them. I think it's a coordination thing, but soccer is one of the only sports that I didn't loathe in gym class. So
Yes,
there's
one
that.
for soccer.
Soccer's great. I mean, what I like about soccer is it's a relatively simple concept. You have a ball and you want to get it over there into that thing and like do it at all costs. And I like that.
So Colin, I gotta pause our conversation on soccer.
Mhm.
Carrie from Make-A-Wish, who's also both Carrie and Allie, who we work with, they both bake. But Carrie wants to know what happens if we put too much liquid. Like, what if we put in a little bit too much milk?
I would just throw in some extra flour. That's an easy fix. And we're going to add some extra flour onto our work surface as we turn it out. I'm going to do that right now, actually. So just throw in some extra flour, and that should remedy the issue. So my dough, I'm going to show you right now. It looks like it's still a little shaggy, but it is come together for sure. And as I hold my bowl, it's absolutely still cold, so that's a good thing. It means my butter will likely have not melted. So now I'm going to take some additional all-purpose flour. At this point, if you've added too much liquid, you're going to want to dump a lot of flour in your work surface, and that will really help you. And I'm just going to flour my work surface. Pro tip, when you are dusting flour on your work surface, the higher you drop from, the more evenly and wide your spread will be. And that's what we want. All right, so I'm going to take that dough and turn it out onto my counter. Mine is coming together quite nicely. I mean, maybe I added too much liquid. We'll find out. You're gonna wanna maybe put a little bit of flour on your hands as well, just so that this doesn't stick like crazy to your dough. And I'm just gonna gently knead this a couple times. And by kneading, I'm taking one side of the dough and just folding it over and pressing it into itself. I don't want to overhandle the dough because then, again, the butter will melt and life will not be good. So I've done that a couple times. This is holding together really, really nicely. And now I just want to pat this to, oh gosh, it's pretty thick, but I want this to be approximately 1 inch thick. I could use a rolling pin, but I wanted to use as little equipment as possible because not everyone at home has a rolling pin.
I don't know where mine is or if I even have one.
That is okay because we got these things. We got our hands. All right, so this is, again, I'm just patting this out to approximately 1 inch. Don't overhandle because then butter will melt life will be sad. So that's looking... I'm more of a metric system kind of guy. So like, I'm like, how many centimeters is it in? I think it's like 2.5, something like that. This is looking fine. So now, we're ready to cut our biscuits, and I'm just deciding how big I want these circles to be. I'm gonna go, I have these lovely biscuit cutters. I just got these at HomeSense. You can find these at most like kitchen supply stores. Nice sets of like radiated rings, circle cutters. What's great about these is they're super thick. Let me show you. So when you are dealing with a thick dough, it's great. So I'm gonna go with the smaller cutter. I think that's 2.5 inches, I'd say. And I'm just gonna cut circles. How are you doing with your mixture, Kevin?
I am putting it down.
Yeah?
And I'm just getting the flour on it, and I'm trying to get it down to that 1 inch.
Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. You can use a cutter. If you don't have a cutter, you can just use a drinking glass, because that's a nice perfect circle. And then also, presumably your glass will be taller than this, so it'll be the perfect thickness, or will be like tall enough. All right, so I'm gonna start cutting. I'm dipping my cutter in flour because that will ensure that it doesn't stick to the dough once I jam it in there. And now we just start cutting these lovely circles. And what's great about this is it sticks in the cutter. I'm just gonna pop that onto my baking sheet, which I've already prepared. Just take a baking sheet and you can spray some non-stick cooking spray or line it with parchment paper, which is what I prefer. And just like throw them on your baking sheet. And these are looking, oh my gosh, I'm excited to eat these straight up.
My mouth is watering right now, so.
I am ready. And you're gonna wanna leave a couple inches between each biscuit because they absolutely will expand. And once you've cut out your circles, you're gonna be left with extra dough, of course. And don't fret, we are gonna use it. This is a great dough to make in advance. If you want to, you could even freeze this dough at this stage. You can make these rounds. Don't do anything else. Throw this in the freezer until they're solid, and then you can take them off the baking sheet and throw them in a freezer bag, and then freeze them like that, and then you can bake from there.
Now, Colin, while we're cutting these, we are gonna go to break, if that's okay. So, as we mentioned, the Instagram feed usually cuts out after an hour, so we are, if you don't mind just cutting out for a second, we will be coming back. And when we do come back, everybody, we are going to be announcing some exciting prizes, and we will also continue baking for all of you people that are getting hungry like myself doing this. We are going to continue on with it. So, Colin, go ahead, boot me.
Okay, I'm gonna boot you out.
Once you come back in, we'll be back.
Perfect. So again, we're gonna be out just for like maybe a minute, maybe even less. So stay tuned and hop back on if you want to continue baking with us. All right, friends? And then you'll find out who has won an amazing contest. Okay, we'll see you soon, everybody. Hello, friends. I'm back for part 2 of Wish Dish with Make-A-Wish Canada. Hope you're still baking. Hope everybody is still engaged, feeling good about this experience. There we are. We're back!
We're back.
What a lovely little break. Back in business. I have all my biscuits, or a lot of my biscuits, ready to go. So I fit on this sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. And I have a lot of extra dough, and in the interest of time, I'm just gonna throw that literally on a plate and throw it in the fridge because I'm just gonna make that a little bit later.
I'm going to just make some announcements, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
So, as we talked about before, everybody, prizes. I know everybody loves prizes. So this whole week, or for the last week or so, we've been running a contest on our social media page to win a Starbucks gift card, and that includes a mug, tumbler, coffee, tea, everything. It's like over $80 worth of Starbucks goodies. So, and it was donated by Starbucks Canada, so big thank you to Starbucks Canada for helping us out today. But before we do announce the winner, as we said we're going to go on a break. I wanted to give a big shout out, number one, to Mary. She also donated $250. So Mary, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And Colin, you don't know this, and I have some wonderful people behind the scenes helping me. We've surpassed $1,000 in donations. So
amazing!
Yeah.
That's terrific. That's so great to hear.
So this is another opportunity for us to say thank you for joining us, for putting this event on. So we're super thankful. And to everybody donating, to everybody watching, to everybody baking and learning, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. And just to echo what you just said, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for donating. That is what is going to keep organizations like Make-A-Wish alive, which is so important to keep these kids happy and making those wishes come true. So thank you all so much.
So Colin, can you give me a drum roll as I go to announce the winner?
Absolutely, I can. I'm going to bring it right up to my microphone.
So
can you hear that?
At Life of Hales. So you are the winner of our Starbucks gift pack. You will just need to reach out to us. Just send us a DM to the Rising Stars account, and we'll get in touch with you, and we'll set everything up for you to get your full gift pack. Starbucks, pretty jealous. Not a big coffee drinker, but when I do drink coffee, I do like to get something nice and sweet from Starbucks.
Love it. That is so exciting. So you said that was at Life with Hale?
It's Life of Hales, and that's
Life of Hales.
H-A-I-L-Z for Z.
Amazing. Now, congratulations. Life with Hales.
Congrats. And then, guys, this is not your only opportunity to win. We got some more stuff. If you want to be a winner, you can still win. We have an upcoming contest that we'll talk about in a little while. We're going to continue baking.
Okay, so we have our biscuits. Again, I have 8 on my sheet. If you fit more, that's amazing. If you wanted to save your dough, just throw it in the fridge for now. I'm going to finish it after this is all said and done. But what we need to do now is just brush the top with a little bit of extra dairy. So again, the milk or cream that you're using in the batter. I have I thought I had one, a pastry brush. There it is. But you could just use a spoon and then smooth it out with your fingers. That is totally fine. But if you have a pastry brush, use that. So I'm just, again, taking the dairy and just brushing the top. It's going to be about like a 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of dairy on the top of each biscuit. And that's just going to help with browning, which will help alert you to whether or not the biscuit is fully baked. And it just looks nice and it gets crispy.
My mouth is watering.
I know, me too. I had a very rushed lunch today, like just a really quick bowl of leftovers, so I'm pretty hungry, not gonna lie.
We're gonna eat well tonight.
We certainly will. And I mean, I live alone. I don't know about you, but am I gonna be eating all of these things all by myself? Probably. Is that okay? Yes. All right, so I've got these biscuits doused in a little dairy, and my oven is preheated to 450 degrees, and I'm gonna throw these in for how much time? 10 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on them. I'm gonna check them at the 10-minute mark to see what they're looking like. We wanna see them brown, risen quite a lot, and sort of matte looking. I'll show you. You'll see.
I'm just gonna show everybody mine so they can see what's going on. So the life of a non-baker over here is working on it. Colin, can I get it? Like, are mine looking okay? Yours look amazing.
I think they're looking great. Yours are looking really good. Very nice.
Awesome. Perfect.
Great work, buddy.
Thank you.
Let's throw these in the oven.
Let's do it.
450 degrees, and then set your timer for 10 minutes to start, and then we will check on them after that. All right. Woo! Timer. Okay.
I almost set mine for 10 hours.
I mean, that would be a very dark biscuit. Very dark indeed.
Now, while you're doing that, so guys, I talked about that other contest we're having. So we're all here for a special reason. We want to help kids' wishes come true, just like Olivia. So if you weren't here earlier at the beginning, Colin and Olivia did the Livy. And if you want to see that, I think Colin might do it again later on.
Oh!
He's a professional now.
I am a professional dancer now. I've been trained by Olivia, therefore I am a professional dancer.
So we're here for that, and that's why Colin's doing this event for us. We're super thankful again to him. But to make a difference, we do need donations. As we talked about, we've gotten over $1,000 in donations, which we're super happy about. But throughout these series, so after Colin, as we talked about, we're gonna have 2 other episodes. We really appreciate all your donations and just even spending the time to just come and make some great, right now, food, but we'll be making some drinks and some other food later in our other episodes. So we want to just say, anyone that has donated or that does donate before July 20th, you are being entered into a contest to win a virtual wine tasting experience donated by Lauren Power of Trey Amici. So Lauren herself, she's going to guide you through the flavors and styles of the 4 incredible wines and the interactive experience, and it's just going to be custom made for you. So everybody that's donated, you've already been entered. For those of you that donate up until the 20th, you are going to be entered. And this package includes the wine tasting, which is valued at $350, and the wine list, which is valued at $150. So great opportunity. Donate. Help some kids with some critical illnesses, and it's all going to a good cause, everybody. So thank you, everybody. And if you don't get this wonderful prize, you can still have a glass of wine, right?
Exactly. I'm going to do that right after this, actually. I don't drink and bake generally because sometimes when that happens, things burn.
We don't want that. I really
don't want that.
I'm so hungry.
Mine are they're already rising. They're like really getting up there, reaching to the heavens, which I'm pumped about.
I'm excited.
Yeah? Okay, excellent. Excellent. How is everybody's looking at home? How are your biscuits in the oven looking? Are they getting taller? Are they getting fluffy? I want to know. If you are baking along and whether or not you are proud of the finished result, I want to see it. So feel free to post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter, tag Make-A-Wish, tag me. I would love to see what you were doing at home, because in addition to raising awareness for this amazing organization, I'm thrilled to be getting people in their kitchens and baking something that you might not have baked if we didn't have this today. So please share. I want to see. So now we have our 2 of the 3 components for our mixed berry shortcake, or as now I have called it, bumbleberry shortcake. And we need our choux chantilly cream. Actually, is it choux? I think it's just chantilly cream. I think I misled you earlier.
It's okay. You know what? We can call it what we want. It's our show right now.
It is our show. What was our show called?
What did you say?
There was an S and a W.
Yeah.
Sludgy Wudgy.
Yes, there you go. And you were sludgy, and I'm Wudgy.
Sludgy Wudgy coming at you from Toronto, Ontario. Exactly. Actually, Kevin, where are you located? Are you in Toronto?
Yeah, so I'm on the East End. I'm located in Scarborough.
Oh, cool. I'm from Scarborough originally. Love it.
Awesome.
Scarborough boy.
East Side.
East Side, and I'm still East Side, so I live in Corktown, which is technically still East Side.
You're still considered East Side, and guess what, guys?
East Side for life.
Sludgy, we do not discriminate if you live anywhere else, but we just have that East End bond.
Exactly, we do. We certainly do. And Wudgy, how do you feel about whipped cream? How do you feel about being referred to as Wudgy? For now.
It's a first, and I am not opposed to it. I actually.
Okay.
It seems like a term of endearment.
It is. It certainly is. All right, Wudgy, Kevin Wudgy. I have my hand mixer. I toyed with the idea of using my stand mixer, but I just didn't want to bring it over to this table, and not everyone at home has one. So you can use a hand mixer. You could even whisk your cream by hand if you have a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of muscles. But right now, I don't want to use any of those things. I want to use this.
We're not working.
So, no, exactly. This is our rest day, right? So, I'm going to
Colin, we've had
untangle my
one of our
cord.
viewers ask if they can be fudgy.
Sure.
Sludgy and fudgy.
Sludgy, wudgy, fudgy. What other words can we add? Budgie.
Budgie.
Do you remember budgies? Those birds.
I used to have a budgie.
Okay.
Way back.
Did you have it in the 90s?
Yeah.
Budgies were huge in the 90s.
So, like, as we go through this, I'm going to tell you the wildest story of how I got my bird. So, I'm going to let you tell the people a couple of the ingredients. And once we, like, kind of get to a little standstill, I'll tell you how I got it.
I'm ready. All right. So, we have our cup of cold whipping cream in a nice medium-sized bowl, I'm going to call that. And I'm just going to whisk that just a little bit just to get it slightly aerated for, like, I don't know, we'll call it 20 seconds. I'm going to start on low so that this doesn't go everywhere, and then eventually build it up to high. And if you're just doing it by hand, just use a big whisk like we were using before to combine our dry ingredients and just whisk it all together just to get some bubbles going. So starting on low, slowly bringing it up to high. Already seeing tons of bubbles. And the reason why we use cold cream, to be honest, I don't know the exact science, but cold cream just whips better than room temperature or warm cream. It's something about like the structure of the butter fat that's included in the cream. Look at that. I guess I did know the science.
Thank you for educating me and everybody watching.
You know, I was a science student years ago, and I dropped out of sciences because it just wasn't my destiny. But maybe it is my destiny in some small way in the kitchen. So now that our cream has some bubbles in it, we're going to add our 1 tablespoon of skim milk powder and 1 tablespoon of icing sugar. And just dump it all in, all at once. And then we're going to give it another whisk. And then, Kevin, you can tell us about your budgie.
So, my budgie, as you're all whisking away and adding your ingredients.
And sorry to interrupt. We're going to whisk it on high until it gets to soft peak. And soft peak is when you like dip a spoon or something in it, it should form a little peak or like a little mountain, but then it should sort of like flop over. So not super stiff.
Okay. So,
and mix on high.
My budgie, while all of you were whisking on high, I was outside, we were outside, me and my family, and we have a pool at my dad's house, and we were all outside enjoying the pool, and all of a sudden, a bird lands on our fence. And I'm looking at this bird, and I'm like, this is not a regular outdoor bird here. And so, we're looking at it, and he's not leaving, he's not flying away, he's actually getting closer to us. And my stepmom at the time, she goes, that bird looks like a budgie, like it's probably, like, she's like, that thing should not be outside. And so, she went, she put her finger out, the budgie jumped on her finger, and we kept it. It became our bird. We bought a cage.
Oh, wow.
It turned into our bird. So we got a budgie flew into my backyard.
I love that. It's like a stray bird.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a feral bird. You often hear like stray cats, stray dogs, but not stray birds. It's a first.
That's like the first time I've ever, and nobody else has had a story like that where they've had a bird fly.
Yeah. I love that. I had a friend who had a pet budgie, like relatively recently. Like she had, I don't know, maybe she still does have the budgie. But I remember when she first showed me the budgie, I had never seen a bird be like affectionate with their owner like a dog or a cat. I just thought birds like just didn't have that sensibility. But it was like super cute. It was cuddling up next to her. It was like super adorable. I was like very touched.
They're super loving. So loving.
I love that. Okay, so my whipped cream is almost, it's sort of at soft peak. And my oven is about to go off and my biscuits are looking pretty great. So I'm just gonna check on them. Just gonna grab an oven mitt. And we'll get back to the whipped cream momentarily. When you are checking your oven, don't open it all the way because then you'll release so much of your heat. Every time you open your oven door, fun fact, you lose about 50 degrees of heat. And we don't want that. That is why soufflés deflate. That is why cakes deflate and cook unevenly when people are always opening and closing their ovens. Let me take a quick looky-loo. These are looking, ooh, yeah. I'm gonna leave them in just for a little bit longer, but they have risen and they look quite beautiful. There's one in the back corner that like looks gorgeous. Let me tell you. I'm gonna leave these in for 2 more minutes. So I'm setting my timer. Woo! And in the meantime, my whipped cream is looking like soft-ish peak. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. It's sort of like, that's not even soft peak. It's just kind of like mixed. So it is kind of drooping, but it is holding those sort of like swoopy doopies all up in there. So at this point, I'm gonna add, and it still feels cold, which is great. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Again, always pure, never artificial. Very important, muy importante. So throw that in. And now I'm gonna mix this on high again until it reaches stiff peak. And stiff peak, it's the stiffest your whipped cream will ever be, and you'll know that you've reached stiff peak because you can take your bowl of whipped cream and hold it over your head and none of it will fall out. And I'm totally gonna do that and hope it doesn't fall down.
They used to do it for Dairy Queen, right? They used to flip them over, right?
Oh, did they really? For the blizzards?
Yeah, for the blizzards.
Oh, I'd love some Dairy Queen right now.
We're gonna have a lot of sweets like tonight.
We really are. Who are you sharing your desserts with? Or are you like me and are you gonna eat them all by yourself?
No, so I live with my brother and his girlfriend, and they
Love it.
were watching. His girlfriend commented, "Can't wait to eat these later."
Amazing. Well, at least you have someone to share these with. I guess I have one of my best friends lives across the hall in my building, so I'm going to knock on her door and see if she's around. Simone, if you're watching this, I'm coming after you with some mixed berry shortcake. Hopefully, you are amenable to that future. So
We
just,
have Kyle Meow 7 said that they want you to dump your whipped cream on their head. They said, "Dump it on my head, please."
I will. Come on over. I live in Corktown. See if you can find me. All right, I'm going to check out my biscuits. They're looking great. Oh yeah, these are absolutely done. I'm going to turn off my oven. It is very hot. That's the thing about baking something at such a high temperature. It bakes quite quickly. But look at these cute little biscuits.
Wow.
I'm quite pleased, specifically with this one.
Yours look amazing.
This one is my favorite. Look how tall she is. I'm going to name her Jennifer. She's so tall. Love it. So I'm going to leave these on my cooling rack.
Everybody
the reason
watching
why
might don't look as good as Colin's, but they're coming along, okay?
They look
We're making
great.
Progress.
Can I take a looky-loo at yours?
Yeah.
Amazing. Look at those lovely layers. Looking really good.
It smells so good.
Excellent.
If you're cooking along, please tell us how yours smell because it smells delicious.
Yeah, I'm smelling lots of butter, which is what I always want to smell in my life. Even if, like, this is sort of a rustic-ish dish, even if it doesn't look gorgeous, it's going to taste amazing because, like, what is not to love about berries, cream, butter, and sugar? Like, that's always going to taste good no matter what, unless you burn it, I guess, but we'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it. So my whipped cream, take a look at that. Over my head, nothing falling out. Oh my God, amazing. I'm gonna show you. And it smells like vanilla, which is exactly what I want it to smell like. Look at that, so stiff. Could you imagine if I just like dropped this all on the floor right now?
No.
Quel désastre. All right, I'm gonna unplug my mixer, throw these in the sink. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Something that I learned a long time ago is to always clean as you go, because then your life is easier when things are done. I'm just gonna take a quick look at my berries and see how sludgy-wudgy they have become. And I'm gonna show you all the amazing juices that have been released as a result of the maceration process. I don't know if you can see, but like, there's quite a lot of, don't want it to fall out, quite a lot of liquid there. Actually, I could just spoon it out and show you. Woo. We're getting there, we're getting there. It's like, it's quite wet, you can see that, right? So that's just those natural juices coming out, mixing with that sugar and creating a delightful berry syrup. If you wanted to, you could strain this and just take the liquid and throw that into a cocktail, pour it over ice cream or something. It would be a delicious sauce. Or a syrup, rather. So I just wanted to toss that and see where it's at. And it's looking and smelling really wonderful. And now I just need to wait for these biscuits to cool, because, oh, actually they're pretty good. I don't want to assemble just yet, because if you assemble when they're too warm, it's just going to melt your whipped cream and it's just not going to be as cute as it could be. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab a knife and I'm going to sort of get started with preparing the assembly.
While Colin is doing that, to everybody that first and foremost heard about the contest, the rules, regulations, the contest, that will be on our on the Rising Star website. So if you have any questions about it, go check it out there. If you still have questions after checking out the rules and regulations on our website, shoot us a message on Instagram. We'll get back to you with an answer soon after that. For the actual contest, the opportunity is to win a wine tasting tour from Trey Amiti, thanks to Lauren Power. And then on top of that, if you missed Olivia and Colin did the Livy. Olivia was one of our Make-A-Wish. We granted her wish. And so she is now famous for the Livy. And all your donations, all the money that people have donated today, which we've raised over $1,000, goes to helping kids get their wishes granted. So thank you to everybody again. I will say it over and over, but thank you, Colin. Thank you, everybody that is baking with us. And thank you to everybody that has donated.
And I will echo exactly what you said. Thank you again. Thank you for having me. And everyone who's tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough. This is super fun and exciting for us to do, but it's going to be even more exciting when the kids who are benefiting from the wishes or from Make-A-Wish are getting those wishes granted. So keep those donations coming. And let's keep making dreams come true.
We are still granting wishes. I was wrong at the beginning. We are still granting wishes. We're still doing like backyard makeovers, dream bedrooms, electronics, that kind of stuff. So we haven't stopped. We're still going and we're still working hard to get as many wishes granted. So thank you, everybody.
That's amazing. And it's so great to see organizations like Make-A-Wish and other companies around the world and across Canada really pivot to the new normal. Even though we can't be in large groups, people are still making things happen, making dreams come true, and granting wishes. So I think that's really inspiring to see. All right, let's talk about assembly. So I have something exciting. One of my favorite tools or pieces of equipment. This is a piping bag. It's a disposable, like, cone of plastic. You can find them at a bulk food store. I buy mine online. I just like to get a box of 100, and then I'm set up for like the year of baking cakes, which is a big part of my life, as you can imagine. And I have fitted this with a piping tip. This is optional. You can just spoon your whipped cream onto your biscuit, and that would be gorgeous and that would be beautiful. But because we wanted to have a bit of a red carpet elevated experience, I wanted to do a little bit of piping. So I'm going to show you up close. I just snip the tip off of that piping bag and I put in my piping tip. This is my favorite type of piping tip, and it is a closed star, and it's probably like a medium or large size. Let's be focused. There we go. Do you know that blogger thing that people do on YouTube? They like hold something up and then they put their hand behind it. Yeah. I'm obsessed with that. I'm like, this is a piping tip. You're gonna want to find it at your store, and like it's my favorite thing. So
Colin, you're teaching other people how to become influencers here with all these tips and tricks on how to do live vlogs, but how to do it. People are probably, we're gonna have some new influencers after this, probably.
And that's something that happened and that is continuing to happen as a result of lockdown and the pandemic. People are just posting so much content online. People are going live on their different platforms, and I'm personally really enjoying it. All right, so we are pretty much ready to assemble. Our biscuits are a little bit warm. If you are at home, I would wait for them to cool a little bit longer, but let's just get this going. Am I right? Let's do it. So I'm going to take my whipped cream and I'm going to put it in my piping bag and just spoon it in. So you're going to want to pour or like pull your piping bag so that it's like overlapping your hand. So it's sort of like you're holding an ice cream cone and then you have a veil on top of your hand. Take your whipped cream, put it in, and just use your thumb, just scrape it on the inside of your piping bag. Again, if you're not using a piping bag at home, you skip this step, of course. As I mentioned earlier, the skim milk powder helps to stabilize your whipped cream, which means that it will hold its shape for several hours. Again, some people use gelatin. I prefer to use skim milk powder just because the flavor is better. It's another dairy product, so it's just going to continue to taste like cream. And then it ensures that it is vegetarian because gelatin is not a vegetarian product. All right, so I have all my whipped cream in my piping bag. And I'm just shaking it to the bottom to get rid of any air bubbles and to make sure that it reaches the bottom of the nozzle. And I'm just going to take that piping bag and twist the top. And then we are going to start assembling. So I'm going to take one of my biscuits that I think is the cutest. So I'm going to take the one in the corner that I called Jennifer. There she is. And you just split it open.
That's so beautiful. That looks so good.
If yours doesn't split as easily, you can, of course, use a knife. That is totally fine. And I'm just going to put that on my plate. And I'm going to take some of my macerated berries, give that a little stir, and I'm just going to put a few right on top of that bottom biscuit. Let me move this so that everybody can actually see.
I'm going to show off my Jennifer right now to you, Colin.
Please do.
This is my Jennifer right here.
Oh, beautiful!
Hello to my Jennifer.
Oh, that looks really great. Look at those layers. Good color on top, looking great. And we're going to take some of those berries and just spoon it right on top of your bottom half of the biscuit. And if the juices flow, I mean, that's a good thing because that's all just going to taste great. All right. So now it looks like we have an open-faced sandwich of just biscuit and berry. And now I'm going to take my whipped cream. You can just take a spoonful of your whipped cream, or if you're using a piping bag, do that. And we're just going to pipe a bit of whipped cream on top. I'm going to do a little rosette. I'm going to show you up close what that looks like. This is my favorite piping tip because it creates this beautiful rose pattern. Let's take a looky-loo at that.
That is fancy.
I wanted to keep it classy for everybody, you know? Keep it classy for Olivia. And then I'm going to take my top biscuit top and just pop it right on top. And then I'm going to take some more berries and I'm just going to display them around the side of my plate just to create a beautiful display. And then I'm also going to pipe additional whipped cream along the sides. And then you'll often see at restaurants or on culinary television shows, people tidying up the plate with a paper towel or with a dish towel. I'm totally going to do that just to have a bit of a cleaner presentation. And then we're almost ready, my friends, for this to be done. So I'm just going to clean up where some of the sauce might have pooled a bit. A little bit too much liquid actually, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take some more whipped cream and I'm just going to put some dollops around the plate just so that it looks cute. Just trying to keep it cute, you know? You can throw some more berries, whichever which way you like. And we're done. Can you believe it? The assembly is so quick. I realize you can't even see my plate, but I'm quite proud of it. I think it's looking quite cute. But that is our finished, or my finished, mixed berry shortcake.
I'm going to put mine on in a second. I'm just assembling.
Please do.
Yours
and then
looks amazing. Your presentation is amazing.
Thank you so much, my dear friend.
Okay,
and I can't wait to eat this. I'm so hungry.
I have a question. So I stirred my whipped cream on low for a little while. It is a little bit now. It looks like a little bit of milk. So
okay, I would whip that some more.
Whip it some more. Okay.
Yeah, whip it on high until it is as stiff as possible.
All right, people. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just watch Colin eat his.
Oh, I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna wait. And again, this is such an amazing simple dessert that comes together very quickly, especially if you have all your ingredients set up in advance. You can do a lot of this in advance. You can do the berries the night before, throw them in the fridge, let them macerate over time. It's only going to get juicier and more tasty. The biscuits you can make in advance, you can make those in the morning or the night before, and then just assemble when you have your social gathering or your celebration. Because of coronavirus and COVID and social distancing, people are not able to celebrate birthdays in the ways that they normally could or other special occasions. We're not seeing a lot of communal large desserts where you're all sort of reaching towards the one cake and cutting a slice just because, you know, droplet transfer would be rampant. So this is a great way to have a personalized dessert for a special occasion. And I did want to call out a couple birthdays that are happening today or this week. Summer and Sophie, if you were watching, happy birthday. I believe one of you had a birthday yesterday and one of you had a birthday or is having a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday from me and Rising Stars and Make-A-Wish to you. Hope you're having a great day. And if you bake this, I really want to see how yours turned out.
Alrighty, can I show you? I know I'm not Sophie, but boom.
Oh, gorgeous! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do a little side by side. See, 2 kitchens across Toronto making the same dish.
Now, my next thing, Colin, because of you, I'm gonna get a piping tool. That is for sure.
It's so, it's easy. Some people are intimidated by piping, but once you get started, you just can't stop. Let me tell you.
You converted me.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Are you gonna have a bite now? Are we eating?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat mine like a sandwich. You can eat yours very nicely. I'm gonna eat
mine
more like a sandwich.
All right. I'm glad that my cream did not melt. I thought it was going to because it was still a little bit warm, but so far, so good. Oh gosh.
We had one of our followers said that both of our Jennifers look great. And thank you to everybody that says they look great. We are so excited now. I'm going to put everybody on pause because I need to eat.
It's great! I'm so pleased. Everyone's just listening to me chew now. I'm going to hold the microphone away.
Wow, this is so good. I don't know if you made this with us, I hope yours is as fluffy. I don't know how you made me do this, Colin, but mine's nice and fluffy. It's so good.
I'm going to do something fun for everyone at home. I'm going to feed them a bite. I do this when I FaceTime with my little niece.
You give her some?
Have a little bite, everybody. Enjoy.
I'm just going to eat this everybody.
Myself. Oh, my goodness. This turned out great. I'm so pleased. Okay, I'm gonna eat this one bite. Uno momento.
While Colin is eating and I'm finishing eating, again, just want to remind everybody, all your donations, thank you so much for your donations. For those that maybe can't donate today, we have more series coming along as well, so additional opportunities to donate and just help kids get their wishes granted. So again, thank you to everybody that has donated. Reminder, if you donate before the 20th, you can get a private wine tasting from Trey Amici. So help kids to potentially help yourself have some wine.
Who doesn't love wine? I love it, and I'm gonna have some very soon. That is our finished dessert, my friends. I'm so excited. And you know what I'm gonna do to celebrate? I'm gonna do the Livy.
Oh, let's see.
And I think Kevin, we should do this together.
Let's quickly ask, who wants to see us do the Livy? Let's see in the comments, who wants to see us do the Livy?
Like, spoiler alert, we're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So you should probably say yes. All right, are we ready?
4 of these, and then
1, 2, 3, 4, and then shimmy, 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 shimmy.
All right, let's do it.
All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ba, 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 ba. We are.
That was awesome.
Bam! We are dancers. We're basically So You Think You Can Dance Canada champions. Am I right?
We're so good, we don't even need to go on.
We don't need a show. We have our own show. Sludgy
Exactly.
Wudgy time on Saturday evening.
We'll have to go on to a show now and just be known as Sludgy Wudgy.
Sludgy Wudgy.
The Livy.
I love it. That's our
we'll have to
tagline.
send that. Maybe that's what we'll do for Olivia's birthday. We'll send her like a video of you and I doing the Livy.
I love that. She's gonna be like, guys, I already know how to do it. Thank you for the demo, but like, I'm the pro.
Well, everybody, I hope yours turned out as delicious as ours. I'm like, mine's pretty much almost gone. I can't even show you because it looks like it looks like berries on a plate. But I want to thank everybody again for the last time. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Olivia, if you are watching, which I hope you are, and I hope you made this with us, thank you for teaching Colin and I how to do the Livy, like a private lesson. That's what I'm going to call it. We got our own private lesson. So thank you, Olivia. Thank you for showing us the Livy. Thank you for telling us about your story. And Colin, huge thank you to you. You were awesome. The dessert you made, not made me make, but you made, and I made with you, was awesome. So huge thank you. Thank you so much for helping us get donations as well. Again, everybody, we've raised over $1,000 today, and all we did was bake some cake. We just baked some mini cakes. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you, Colin. And then to everybody, please share your shortcakes with us. So with Colin, with the Ma_Rising Stars account, we on the Ma Rising Stars, I say Ma, but for those that don't know, Make-A-Wish, we want to share. We want to share what you guys have done. So please share with us. And then tag us, tag Colin as well. If you don't follow Colin, if you're one of our followers from the Rising Stars account, please follow Colin. He's got some awesome content, and he puts on other additional baking, not challenges, but shows, not shows either, tutorials. That's what I would say, because this is more of a tutorial. So follow him, watch some more. You'll bake some amazing stuff. And then for everybody, if you guys want, come join us on July 29th for our second Wish Dish. And we will be with Bartender One. We're going to be making a nice cocktail, a Wednesday evening cocktail. So if you need a nice little drink, there will be mocktails and cocktails. So you guys can join us, come have a drink with us, and we will be more than happy to have everybody. So Colin, thank you so much. What's on the menu for the rest of the evening?
Oh my goodness. Well, maybe I should go for a run now after I finish. Well, first I'm going to finish eating this, and then who knows? The night is young. It's like 6:40. Wow, we took a lot longer than I thought we did, actually. We're just having such a great time. But who knows? The night is young. You might see me gallivanting around, working off all these carbs. What about you? What are you up to today?
I'm going to enjoy this. Then, I don't know if he's watching. My brother passed his accounting course, so we're going to go out for dinner. We're going to go to a patio and have dinner to celebrate. So that's what I'm going to do. Enjoy the nice weather that's outside and celebrate with my brother and his girlfriend.
I love it. That's great. Congratulations to him. And congratulations to you for making your mixed berry shortcake. It looks great. Well, and again, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been the best. I've had such a great time. And again, please learn more about Make-A-Wish, learn more about Rising Stars. Tune in to the future Wish Dish sessions because they're going to be a great time. I can't wait to watch them. So you said July 29th?
It is July 29th. Yes, it's a Wednesday evening.
Terrific. I will be there and I can't wait.
Thank you, Colin, so much. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy your weekend.
Take care, everybody. Have a great one.
Bye.
Wish Dish, Sludgy and Wudgy, signing off.
Sludgy and Wudgy out.